At Dad's 65th birthday, my sister grabbed my crutch out from under me and shouted, "Stop faking it, you're just leeching." The room went silent. The band stopped mid-note, and I hit the floor. The pain shot through my hip like electricity, but it wasn't the pain that burned, it was the laughter. Not loud, not cruel, just uncomfortable little chuckles, the kind people make when they don't want to choose sides. My name is Elena Hart, and that was the moment my family found out exactly who they were calling a fraud. 3 years earlier, I wasn't walking with a crutch. I was running, literally. I worked as a structural engineer for a commercial development firm in Tulsa. I was the one climbing scaffolding, reviewing beam loads, signing off on steel inspections. My younger sister, Brianna, preferred softer roles: marketing, branding, social media. She liked the spotlight. I liked blueprints. Then one rainy November afternoon, a subcontractor skipped a safety protocol. A temporary support beam failed. I don't remember the sound. I remember waking up in a hospital bed with my right hip shattered and 2 discs damaged in my spine. 8 surgeries later, I could walk again, but not without assistance. The doctors were honest. You'll always need support on high pain days. High pain days were most days. I didn't sue the company. I didn't want headlines. I negotiated something else: equity. The accident investigation revealed internal cost-cutting violations. The firm settled quietly. Instead of a payout, I accepted 18% ownership in the holding company. Most people didn't know. I didn't advertise it. I recovered quietly. Meanwhile, Brianna told everyone I was milking it. She'd say it at holidays. She could work if she wanted to. She just likes sympathy. Dad never corrected her. Mom avoided eye contact. I kept showing up anyway. At Dad's birthday party, the backyard was strung with gold lights. A rented tent covered the lawn. Neighbors, cousins, business friends, about 60 people. Brianna had already had 2 glasses of champagne when she saw me adjust my crutch near the cake table. She rolled her eyes dramatically. Here comes the performance. I ignored her. I always did. Until she walked straight toward me, bent down, and yanked the crutch out of my hand. "Stop faking it, you're just leeching." I lost balance instantly. The crowd gasped as I collapsed. Dad stood up so fast his chair scraped the patio. "Brianna!" But she wasn't done. "You live off insurance money and guilt. You think we don't see it?" Insurance money. That part made me laugh because there wasn't any. I pushed myself upright using the table edge. My hip screamed, but I stood, without the crutch. Slowly, deliberately. The murmuring grew louder. "You want the truth?" I said calmly. "Let's do truth." Brianna crossed her arms. "Please, enlighten us." I reached into my bag and pulled out a slim folder. I hadn't planned to use it, but I always carried it. Inside were the original settlement documents: equity transfer, board appointment, dividend statements. I handed the top sheet to Dad. His eyes scanned it once, then again. "Elena," he whispered. Brianna scoffed. "What is that, more drama?" I looked at her. "The company that let me fall? I own part of it." Silence. "I sit on the board." More silence. "The quarterly dividends from my shares are larger than your annual salary." The champagne glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the stone. "I didn't take a payout," I continued. "I took ownership because I believed in rebuilding it correctly." A cousin pulled out his phone. Someone muttered, "She's serious." Brianna shook her head. "You're lying." Dad handed her the document. She scanned it. Her face drained. "I never sued," I said. "I never asked you for money. I pay my own medical bills." I paused. "And last year, I funded your startup." Her head snapped up. "What?" "The angel investment you brag about? It came through a private holding, mine." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. "I wanted you to succeed," I said quietly, "even after everything." The crowd had shifted now, not toward her, toward me. Brianna's voice cracked. "You're manipulating this." "No," I replied. "You humiliated someone who already survived worse." She looked around for backup. There wasn't any. Dad finally spoke. "You accused your sister of faking a spinal reconstruction." No one defended her. Not Mom, not the cousins, not even her fiancé, who had been standing near the bar. He stepped away slowly. Brianna's anger flipped into desperation. "You embarrassed me on purpose." I blinked. "You grabbed my crutch." That was it. No yelling, no revenge speech, just fact. Her fiancé cleared his throat. "You told me she exaggerated the accident." Brianna turned toward him. "Don't." But he was already walking toward me. "Is this all documented?" he asked quietly. "Yes." He nodded once, then removed the engagement ring from his pocket, he'd taken it off earlier to wash his hands, and placed it on the cake table. "I don't build a life on lies," he said, and walked out. Brianna stood frozen in the center of the lawn as the string lights flickered above her. The band never resumed. People started leaving in small clusters. Dad helped me back into a chair, this time gently. The next week, Brianna's startup collapsed. Turns out most of her credibility was built on connections she claimed I didn't deserve. Investors don't like public scandals, especially ones involving documented cruelty. She tried calling. I didn't answer. Dad came over instead. He sat across from me in my kitchen. "I didn't know," he said quietly. "I know. That's the problem." He nodded. He didn't defend her again. Months passed. I continued my physical therapy, expanded my board involvement, implemented stricter safety standards across every site. 2 supervisors were terminated for cutting corners. I made sure no one else fell because someone wanted to save money. As for Brianna, she moved to another city. New job, smaller apartment, no more champagne speeches. Last I heard, she tells people her sister is very successful. She leaves out the rest. Sometimes when the pain flares and I reach for my crutch, I think about that night. Not about falling, about standing. Because the strongest thing I did wasn't proving I wasn't faking. It was refusing to shrink. Disability isn't weakness, silence isn't guilt, and the loudest person in the yard is rarely the most powerful one.